welcome back to another exciting episode of Attacker Productions. Today, Big Hope joined once again by Jimmy.
Yes, sir.
And he has gone back to a favorite of mine, a favorite of his. That's Launch. And I think it's just two color, right? Red, blue?
Yes, there's some green sprinkled in there, but you're not charging it, so it's
Fair enough.
Color.
So, let's get into the profile. Oh, yeah, buttons down below. Click them. They're there for a reason.
So, Launch, I wanted to go back to it for a long time. It's gotten some traction recently at Gen Con with some really impressive placements. So shout out to those out there playing Launch. I kind of wanted to go back to it after the Z Energy stuff was announced because there's a lot of comboing in this deck, and I think this deck could be a strong contender going into the next set, barring that they don't change any of the rulings on how it interacts with the launch cards. So this list is inspired by some of the Gen Con topping list with some tech sprinkled in that I really enjoy, and the list really functioned well for me today. It felt really, really good. I used to only play the tricolor variant, and I built it in a way that it was more focused on play and response instead of aggro, like most launch builds are. And this is kind of the hybrid of the play and response control and the aggro. So if you don't know what she does, when you combo, you draw a card, and if your life is flipped up by one of your red card skills, you draw a card, flip her over. The backside, on attack, you will neg a leader or unison card by 5 for the battle. Same autos, draw a card, flip over when life is flipped. And once you flip for the turn, you cannot flip to the other side. So once you activate this auto, you cannot activate this auto to flip back to the other side. Got to keep that in mind. It is a 5k, 10k leader, so you do have to keep that in mind well. But with the cards you have in your list, you shouldn't really have a problem. For our flip targets, run 4 of the SR. This is probably the best one because it has the good auto on it to flip one card in your life face up, and at the end of the turn you flip it back face down. But it has activate battle that if your leader card is 5k, so on the front side of your leader, you can combo with this from the drop area and then put it into your warp at the end of the battle. This card might be very, very, very strong with Z Energy because it will just go to your Z Energy instead of going to the warp. And then when you pay for something on Z Energy, it'll go back to the drop area. Of course, Bandai could come out and say that if this card was intended to go to the warp at the end of the battle, then you can put it into your Z Energy instead.
That's what I'm still thinking, but we haven't heard anything.
There's also been some talk that if the card was destined to go to the drop area, you could put it in your Z Energy, but not otherwise. But we'll see how it turns out. But this card might actually be really busted going into the next set. Run 4 of the promo Launch. It got reprinted in Mythic Boosters, so finally you're able to get this card for cheap and play the deck. This one has, if it's in play and you combo something next something 5, but it has the exact same auto as the other one, and then the Balma. So the Balma, it's a 1-drop cantrip, but has the same auto when you combo with her. So all of these are solid. You could probably make some cuts and round out these numbers and trim the fat, but I just like being able to hit them because there have been some situations where even at this number, I don't see them when I really need to see them. To kind of mitigate that as well, Hasty Dispatch Dispo. It has Activate Main that you can warp this and play a 1-drop with skills negated from the drop area. So you can just warp this out, play one of these. You do have to have a clear battlefield, so you want to do that early. The best targets are either the Balma or this Launch. This Launch is probably the best target because you can use her auto for comboing on your opponent's turn, or the best way to do it is just to play something and then combo it off on your opponent's next attack. Go into the real meat of the deck. Run the Beer Super combo, so you kind of get best of both worlds because when you combo, you do draw a card, and you also get to restand an energy off this card, which is just fantastic. And then we run some rival targets of Cooler. It's a double strike for 1 red arrival. You mill the top card and then neg 2 things, 10k ignoring barrier. Very, very strong. And then 4 of the Herc Boos. It's a blue arrival. Does not have any cool keyword skills. But auto, you draw 1, neg something, 10k, and at the end of the turn, you get to add 1 of your blue battle cards back to your hand. So you can just bounce your Cooler back to your hand. If you're really desperate for one of your other Coolers, which we'll get into in a minute, you can add that back to hand. this Hercuboo is just there to be another rival target because it's the second to this cooler in power. I don't think you really should play with the numbers here. I feel like you should just run play sets of all of these. Definitely the Beerus, you have to run 4 Beerus if you're running the blue-red variant. This card is just absolutely busted. It's taken a while, but I think this card has finally been cracked. People have run this for a long time, but it's fantastic right now. You can activate battle for 1 blue, pick up a Frieza clan from your battle area and add it back to your hand and play this card. And then on swing auto, or if this card is attacked, you can choose 1 red-blue battle card in your drop area and combo with it. So this is fantastic arrival fodder. So something I like to do is like Beerus super combo, then play a cooler, get the cooler effects on my opponent's turn, swing with this on my turn, then swing with lead, do all my comboing, and then play out combo attack cooler, pick up the cooler, swing, combo from the drop. If you haven't got your other combo off of launch, you will get another draw. Then you can play back out that same cooler that you picked up using combo attack. And this is a 25k beater, which is nothing to sneeze at. This card is just absolutely busted. It's been around for a little bit, and I think people have just finally figured it out. I like it at 3. I think some lists ran it at 2. 3, I think, is just the best number. Divine Presence Goku was relevant. I would probably bump this down to 2. I don't know if I would replace it with anything because we're already like pushing the 60 limit. So this card is fantastic when it goes off, but a lot of the times I found myself I'd just rather play a cooler than drop this on the field. So when he's relevant, he's relevant. When he's not, he's just kind of a dead card. He is a free 5k, so you can just combo him off to satisfy a rival color or to get a draw off your leader. Sensor Bean, we run blue, so you're going to run Bean. Not much to say about it. Our negate spread, so I originally had 3 Violent Rays. I don't know why I didn't have a 3rd one in this. I thought I did. And I originally only had 1 testing the op in this list, so I think my dumbass put a 2nd testing the op instead of a 3rd Violent Ray, which actually come out really handy. I'm almost considering siding the 2nd Violent Ray and going to 3 on testing the op, because testing the op was really, really valuable. There's a lot of situations where, since you get to look at your life, you get to know your what cards are in your life. It's really nice to be able to testing the op and just snipe like a Beerus super combo out of your life to then block with this and then combo up with Beerus and kill out some battle cards or whatever. So probably going to go to 3 on that. I originally intended 3 Violent Ray and 1 testing the op, but it actually worked out for me. 2 Energy Blight. This is another one that I was just thinking about cutting because I never felt like I needed a lot of red-blue energy, because I'm usually pretty good at sequencing my energy. But every single game today, I had seen both of these in hand in my first 3 turns, so I was able to have 3 red-blue energy in every single one of my games. So maybe this card is a little bit better than I originally gave it, so I might end up putting this up, maybe, I don't know. Or I might just fucking cut it and just not deal with it. 3 Baby Unison, 3 Videls. Not much to say about it. Baby Unison's cracked. If you're playing red, you need this card. And Videl is just a better Yamcha Merciless Barrage. So pick these up if you don't have them. So we're going to get into a whole bunch of one-ofs here. I got 1 Suffocating Tyranny. This is a big boy triple striker. He arrives for 3, and then he will mill the top card of your opponent's deck on attack and play, and he'll neg something 25k. And then at the end of the turn, you may return this card to your hand and restand 1 of your blue energy. Usually when you're dropping this, you're just going for game. There are some situations where your opponent might play a boss monster you can neg this down with, but I like him at 1. I wouldn't run anymore. run 1 Super Saiyan God Vegeta. This card did not come up today, but it has been fantastic in my testing. Essentially it's a denial of hope on legs. He gains 3,000 for every card in your energy, and then if all of your opponent's energy is in rest mode, he does negate energy exhaust. So there is argument that maybe swap out the Mecha Frieza for this guy. I don't really know yet, because most of the time I just wanted to keep this card in hand instead of charging it, even if I could. 1 Champa. If it's a deck by me, it has a Champa in it. 1 Dirty Burst. Boss monsters are a problem, so I mean, of course you can neg them down, but sometimes you just don't have the energy for it, or you just don't want to deal with it. So just being able to drop this for 2 and say, hey, you don't get to attack with that is really, really nice. Speaking of boss monsters, we have 1 Trio. It can go under your Baby Unison for free and give it a marker, and then for 3 energy you can drop this, and then Spirit Boost 3 to neg out a field and gain triple attack. So 30,000 triple attack is really, really nice. 1 Creator Absorbed as our Overrealm of choice. It's cheap, 1 energy. You're going to have a lot of cards in your drop area from all the comboing that you're doing, so just being able to have a massive monster is really, really nice going per game. 1 King Piccolo. We're playing red with a red Unison, so you're just going to run this card. 1 Supreme Kai. I think is just the best secret rare in the game right now, with Unisons running rampant the way they are. Just being able to slam this for 1 and basically say you cannot attack with your Unison is really, 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 really nice. So this is probably the best. And the card that overperformed the most all night, 5 seconds to eradication, it's a Deflect, Double Strike, Barrier for 4 energy, 20k. Your opponent cannot activate blocker. On swing, it will add a marker to your Unison. Not really relevant with Baby, but whatever, it's nice plus. And then you can add 1 card from your life to your hand. When this card attacks, attack is negated, you deal 1 damage to your opponent. For 4 energy, and you're basically guaranteed getting an attack because there's very few cards that can deal with this. It's just fantastic. It overperformed all night. I don't know if I would go to 2 on it, but I definitely like this card in this list.
Awesome.
That's it.
Cool. Appreciate it, Jimmy. Like I said earlier, there's buttons down below. Click them. They're there for a reason.
Don't click them.
No, I think you should.
No.
With that being said,
Go over to like Big O Notation and click those buttons.
click those buttons too. Those guys are great guys.
No, don't click those buttons too. Just click those buttons.
Click. Read your cards, know your place. Flop
Big O
out.
Notation, will you hire me, please? Like,